Greatest Hits here. I'm back with another little video for you guys today. Today we'll be swapping the shifter to a Th400 shifter. I'm not too sure where you can actually buy an actual shifter for a specific vehicle, but this one that I picked up was from a friend of mine, James, the guy that I did the YouTube video with the car review on. He's given me this shifter with the cable, and he's actually made that shifter for himself for his Firebird, and then swapped to that other shifter that you guys saw that was, you know, in the center console and everything. So anyhow, that's what I'm going to be doing, because I honestly can't find anything for my specific vehicle, and there's not really any videos out there on how to do this. So I'm just going to go out on a whim and just say that it's kind of easy. Actually, it's really easy, but as far as like getting the vehicle running and tuned and everything like that, I don't know if the ECU needs to know if the car needs to be in gear or not, or whatever. I mean, we'll get to that point, but basically this is the old 4L60 shifter here, as you can see, and it has two holes here, and then let me turn the camera around. So it basically has two holes here for bolts, and then two holes in the front, if y'all can see that. One there, and then one there. So four bolts in total, and this thing pretty much comes out, other than the fact that you need to take this little solenoid thing out, which I don't know what this is. It may have to do with where the actual shifter is positioned, and I guess it sends a signal or something to the ECU saying that the shifter is in reverse, neutral, drive, whatever. Up in here, let me get up in the car for you guys. Up in here, you have a cable that you need to disconnect. You have another, or well, really a wire that you have to disconnect. You have a cable, another cable that you need to disconnect. I don't really know where this goes. Not sure where that goes. I really don't. But I hear something in the back of the dash here. But anyhow, take that off. That goes onto this thing right here, that cable, and then that wire clips onto that thing right there. Anyways, excuse all the, you know, crap that I have in this car and whatnot. Look at all this. That's because I'm building the car. So this is kind of normal procedure here. So everything will be vacuumed and cleaned up. And I also need a new seat, because this is looking way worse than what it did about almost a year ago. So anyhow, so yeah, you take this up, like you slide it forward, because it will be underneath this little box here and this bracket here, and then you lift up, and then you just take it out. I'm gonna go ahead and go underneath the car and take the rest of the cable out. That way I'm done with that part, and then I can go ahead and put that new shifter in there. Now, as for this, I don't know how I'm gonna mock it up, to be honest with you. I don't know if I'm just gonna cut this whole thing out and you know, sit it on top of it or what, but for right now I'm just going to leave it off the car. And as you can see, there's more bolts over there that I had to take off. Of course, you have to take that out, and then the center console and everything out. All right, got the cable on. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean all of this up down here because it looks disgusting. And then I'm gonna sit this shifter down, put the bolts in, and that'll be it, guys. What's going on, everyone? So it is Memorial Day. That video that I just made was from like over a month ago, but for some reason I don't have the rest of the footage on installing it, but it's pretty straightforward. It's 4 10mm bolts. I will show you here in a second what that looks like. So what you basically need to do is get the 4 bolts in the hole over there. As you can see, I got stuff kind of laying around. I don't know what that gray plastic cable is for, but we'll figure that out when we get to that point. But basically the cable goes up into that hole, and it sits in here perfectly. Like I said, this is custom made, so I think they may have something similar to this, like a another like B&M kit or something, or maybe like something like Holly or whatever shifter. But yeah, it looks pretty good for what it is, really. I should have painted it black, but I was kind of in a rush and just ready to put it on. And this is just how it's going to look, like that. And I'm going to keep this exposed. I am going to get rid of that. This might be the transmission transmission computer box here. I'm not sure, but I think that's what it is, because there's a wire that runs down to the bottom to connect to the rest of the transmission, I think. I'm not 100% sure. So yeah, it looks pretty cool. So basically, you push this up, that's reverse, slap it back, that's in neutral, slap it back again. You gotta slap it really hard too. That is in drive, and then it has a 2-3 shift too on this 400. I got the turbo 400 in the car, I got the motor in the car now, and this cable is plugged into the transmission. So sometimes it's hard for this thing to shift back into its spot. There we go. It's kind of tricky, but I think I'm getting used to it just from messing with it. Like, you push up on this little lever here and it unlocks it and goes into reverse. Slap it back hard enough, it'll skip neutral and go into drive. So those hooks over there, those little hooks, and then this little metal piece that sits in there. So let me, like that. So I think you unlock this, pull the lever up, and you bring it all the way to park again. So pretty cool. Eventually I'm gonna have something to cover this or paint it or whatever I wanted to do to it, but right now I just want to get the car running and driving and tuned. That way I can work on some more important stuff later, like getting a different rear end for this. And then the drive shaft that I have for this, since it's custom, I'm going to take that to a powertrain shop, and so that they can, you know, make me another drive shaft to hold over 1,000 horsepower. Since this drive shaft is in the car, this is perfect. Like, I don't have to worry about what length I need from the transmission to the rear end. I don't have to worry about taking the car over there so they can figure out which drive shaft slip yoke I need and all this other kind of stuff. So I already have it. I just need to take it back to them whenever I start racing the car. Right now I just want to drive it and enjoy it, and then when I get ready to race the car, I'm wanting to swap out the drive shaft and possibly build the rear end that I have in it right now, and it should hold for a little while until it breaks, because the rear ends on these Firebirds are not that great, even when you put money into them. So anyhow, that is the plan. Get the car running, driving, and tuned. Those are the three things. And if I can make anywhere in that horsepower range that I was talking about in the beginning, anywhere from 650 all the way up to 900, like in that range, I'm good. I'm good. It's a lot of money and time to do all of this and get the car where you want it, instead of buying a new car and then you have to build off of that. I mean, it's just the same thing. But so back here is the front bumper and all the other parts, and I don't need that because race car. Some of the stuff here I'm not going to use for the car. I'm obviously going to put the pop-up headlight back on, the front bumper, and some other stuff, but here's all the stuff back here. And then that little foam piece that goes behind the front bumper there, that's not going to be reused because the intercooler is going to be right behind the front bumper. And notice how I cut that out. That's for air to go into the intercooler. So yeah, there's a wheel there, and excuse some of this mess because it's still under construction. And then what I'm really upset about is this. Now I can take this to a body guy, but this is horrible. Like, it keeps splitting every time I open the door, so I'm having to push it inward. That way I can open the door up. So that's really common on Firebirds, especially with a lot of miles on them. But it's a race car, guys, but just for the street, you know. And as you saw earlier in the video, front bumper's off because I had to take off a little, I wouldn't say little, but metal bracket that goes here. But now that I got everything kind of situated, and I redid some of the wiring, by the way. All this is going to be in the next video, but I'm just kind of explaining what's going on with the car right now. But now I'm just waiting on my turbo kit to come in, and then install that. I'm going to have to get an LS6 intake because the one that I have is gone now. That was my own mistake. It is what it is. I should have kept it. And then I gotta get the fuel system for this car too, because as you can see, the fuel lines is gone. I'm gonna be using 8 AN and 10 AN fittings with some high performance, you know, fuel rails and injectors and stuff like that for the turbo kit. So as you can see, the alternator's right there. I got every single wire on here the way that I want it to, because these wires go to the alternator, and the alternator is going to sit right up in there. Obviously that's not going to work over there because of the manifold sitting too close to the block of the engine, that blue section there. Alternator is too big to go over there in a factory spot, so I'm sitting it over here. I got the tensioner as well. I took that back off because it's gonna have to be relocated, but slowly but surely it's coming along. So, and it's really dirty, and I haven't washed it in almost a year. So got my tools over here too. So it's a work in progress, but hopefully I get done with it and I cannot worry about it too much. I just been focused on a lot of other things. and going to events and all of that stuff. So when I had the turbo kit in, I'm going to obviously send a video on that and the fuel system, because the fuel pump is not in the tank anymore, and all of that. So enough of me rambling. Everything that I just said that you haven't seen yet will come in later time when I post the videos about how I put the engine in, transmission in, all that. And then there was something else. Oh, transmission video. I have to figure that out, because there's just some footage that I don't have anymore because my SD card was in the washing machine. So anyways, it's hot out here. I'm about to close this door. And yeah, I hope y'all like this video. Like and subscribe, and I'll holler at y'all at the next one. Greatest hits, out.